Well, hello YouTube land. Once again, I am back. This video is slightly later than planned due to having had really bad symptoms with coronavirus this week. I have the long version of coronavirus, lucky me, and the dizziness and the nausea are not any fun. I still don't feel very well, but never mind. You don't want to hear about that, that's not what you're here for. So today's video is going to be a haul video. I'm aware that several people on BookTube have done haul videos this week. I'm not spoiling that for anybody or saying that I borrowed this idea from anyone, because I didn't. I had this planned already. It just happens to coincide with a lot of other people doing haul videos and I feel a bit bad. I'm like, oh, I should have done this a different week, but I couldn't think of an alternative video. So here we are. This is my book haul for March. Some of these I've had slightly longer than that, but they're all relatively new purchases. Been spending too much money on books. Nothing new there. I'm sure lots of us have that problem. So without further ado, I am going to get into the haul, what I've bought, what they're about, why I picked them up, etc. So the first book, I'm going to start with an obvious one. So this is Heir of Fire by Sarah J Maas. I'm sure everybody has heard of Sarah J Maas by now. I started reading this series with another book club. I'm not reading it with them anymore because they're way ahead of me. I'm not a fast reader. Many of you will know that. So this is the third book in the series. We're following a lady called Selena, who is an assassin. I believe it's Selena. I started off pronouncing it Kelena. But apparently that's wrong. So she works as an assassin for the King of Ardalan, which is the world in which this takes place. It's fantasy, obviously. Yeah, it's kind of fantasy with spooky stuff, with like lots of characters, but all really well developed. There are a few standout characters. Selena obviously is a standout because she is the lead character throughout the series, but lots of people that she meets kind of stick in your mind. I'm really enjoying the series. This one is a tad bigger than the first two. So the first two in the series, in case you don't know or would like to find out, the first book is called Throne of Glass and the second book is called Crown of Midnight, and they are by Sarah J Maas. So I will be picking this one up hopefully in the near future. I have a lot of books to read at the moment, which is not helpful. So I'm trying to read about 15 books at once. That might be a slight exaggeration, maybe not quite that many. And I also have 2 more on the way. That's Shell's fault. My friend did a book haul the other day, and yeah, let's just say I bought 2 of her recommendations. Oops. Anyway, yes, Heir of Fire. Looking forward to this one. Then we have, oh, where should we go next? Lots of different books. I'm going to start with this one. We've got 2 by this author. One new one, one old one. So, again, this author needs no introduction, but this is The Dark Vault by V.E. Schwab. Again, I started a Schwab readathon with a book club. Got through 1 book and got behind. I'm a mood reader and I get distracted easily. I also read another V.E. Schwab out of order. So they started off with The Near Witch, which I absolutely loved. It's brilliant. Go and read it. That's all I'm going to say about The Near Witch. I don't spoil it for anyone, but it is beautiful. I then got gifted from my boyfriend for Valentine's Day The Bridge of Souls, which is the 3rd book in the, oh gosh, it's her middle grade series and I've forgotten the series name. I always do this. Never mind. Those of you that know V. Schwab will know what I'm talking about, hopefully, and those of you that don't, I'm really sorry. But yeah, so I was gifted for Valentine's Day Bridge of Souls because my partner knows I've been looking for it for ages and hadn't been able to find it for some strange reason. And I pretty much read it the moment he gave it to me. So that's why this got delayed. So this is The Dark Vault. It's 2 novels from her archived series. I can speak. Again, brain fog, not helpful. Don't know much about this one, apart from that it's Schwab and I'm going to love it, although we are a little bit scared by the size of this book. I'm sorry, I know this is 2 books, but this is huge. it kind of doesn't get better. I seem to have developed a taste for chunkers, which, considering how slowly I read, is probably not a good thing because it's going to mess up my numbers, but never mind. So I also have, because I've got to obviously mention this at the same time, and I'm sure everybody on YouTube has bought this book and has been going on about this book because I've seen several already, but I do have a copy of Gallant. This is Schwab's new book. It is a beautiful copy. I'm sure everybody's done this, but end papers, front cover. I drawled over this book for half an hour when it arrived, and I was having a particularly bad day, so it cheered me up no end. Looking forward to this. It is also signed by the author. I'm not going to go into it because I'm sure lots of people have spoken about it, but this book is beautiful. So those are my two Schwabs. Then we have, they're kind of on a theme. I'm going to go with one I've had for a little while. This isn't new. This was a gift. And this is coming up here because I've come across this author in a couple of people's vlogs recently and gone, I've never read anything by him. Why have I never read anything by him? It is Grady Hendrix. So this was gifted to me about a year ago, and I haven't picked it up because it got buried in with a lot of other books. So this is the Southern, what's it called? The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. It's a vampire story. That's about what I know. I love a vampire story. Most of you will know that. I mean, I'm goth personified over here. Of course I love a vampire story. So, yeah, I don't know much about this. I saw it sitting on my bookshelf and thought, I've been meaning to read that for ages. And it was very kindly gifted to me by my friend from book club. His name's gone out of my head, which is really embarrassing. Oh, gosh, what's she called? Tilly. Tilly from my book club purchased this for me some time ago, and I haven't read it yet, and I really, really, really need to because I keep seeing Grady Hendrix pop up and he sounds like an awesome author. So that's why this is in this vlog. Next up, we have, I'm going to go with this one. So this is non-fiction. This is The Islands of Abandonment by Cal Flynn. Anything to do with abandoned villages, ghost towns, haunted places, places that are just a bit weird or have weird tales about them, count me in. I'm sold. We're doing this. So this book was shortlisted for the British Academy Book Prize and also for Scotland's National Book Awards. It's about abandoned places. It's about ghost towns and exclusion zones. I can't wait to read this. Like, if I wasn't already reading so many books, I would be sat here right now, like, consuming, because I really want to read this book. And can we just appreciate the cover a minute? Like, how pretty is this? Love it. Really looking forward to this, and it has pictures. So just to give you a little glimpse, we have pictures. Looking forward to that one. Non-fiction is a genre that I particularly enjoy. I like something a bit different. Been getting into it over the last couple of years, and yeah, this is right up my alley. So then we have one that isn't non-fiction, I believe. I think this is fictional. Hang on a minute. I may have mentioned this book before, so this might be the second time you've seen it. But it is a fictional novel. It is called A Terrible Kindness. It's a beautiful copy. Again, it's a signed special, but it's about Aberfan. Now, I live in Wales. Most people here will know about the disaster at Aberfan, but I don't think it's that well known nationally. Yeah. It was quite impactful in Wales, and I don't know as much about it as I should. I know that essentially a school was hit with a slag landslide from one of the coal mines and lots of people were killed. I know this book centres around that incident, which is why I picked it up. Looking forward to reading it. I think it's probably going to be a little bit difficult to read in places, but I'll read you the blurb just in case you're interested, because I think this is quite an unusual novel. And also, can we just say the actual book itself, under the dust cover, is yellow. Like, how beautiful is that? I think this is the only book I've got that is this colour, and obviously you've got the leaves, and the book itself is just beautiful. So I think it's worth reading you the blurb, and I hope nobody is bored by me reading the blurb. So it says, tonight 19-year-old William Lavery is dressed for success. His first black tie do. It's the Midlands chapter of the Institute of Embalmers Ladies' Night dinner dance, and William is taking Gloria in her sequined evening gown. He can barely believe his luck. But as the guests sip their drinks and smoke their post-dinner cigarettes, a telegram delivers news of a tragedy. An event so terrible it will shake the nation. It is October 1966, and a landslide at a coal mine has buried a school, Aberfan. William decides he must act. It will be his first job and, although he's yet to know it, a choice that threatens his own happiness. His work that night will force him to think about the little boy he was and the losses he has worked so hard to bury. But compassion can have surprising consequences, because, as William is about to discover, giving so much to others can sometimes help us heal ourselves. Yeah, I'm in. Looking forward to that. Hope I've sold it to a couple of other people. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. I'm going to go with these two next because they're by the same author. These were a bargain in Tesco's. I have 2 of this author's other books. Somehow I managed to not have the first one. So I have them out of order. So we have One of Us is Lying and You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen M. McManus, and they're so pretty. Can we guess who likes the pretty sprayed edges? These were in Tesco's for 2 books for £8, and I've started this one. I couldn't resist because I have the other 2, and I knew I didn't have the first book in the series, and I'm like, why have I got like books 3 and 4? That's so annoying. So started this one. It's about a group of high school students who fit traditional sort of roles, so like the jock, the nerd, the geek. That's the nerd and the geek. Guess which I was. But we also have like the princess and the one that's really, really clever. We have the one that's really not doing very well and has got a bad reputation. And one of the children in the very first couple of chapters dies as the result of being, well, as a result of having an anaphylactic reaction, having drunk a glass of water that was found to have peanut oil in it. Hope that doesn't give too much away. But that's sort of the opening scene. And then I presume the rest of the book is about what happened and who did it and how everybody links in or doesn't link in. And yeah, kind of chilled out thriller. Well, chilled out thriller, that doesn't go together, does it? What I mean is it's not difficult to read. It's easygoing, but it's fun. I'm not one normally for like non-heavy books. I tend to read things that are quite, what's the word? Deep, complex, unless it's horror, and then just horror. So to read something that's not quite so deep and dark and heavy makes a nice change. I'm also reading Anne of Green Gables at the moment, which is totally out of my wheelhouse. Middle grade March, that's why. But we're not talking about what I'm reading at the moment. We're talking about my haul. Sorry, I get thoroughly off track if I'm not careful. And my video is going to die if I'm not careful. So we have 3 more books. This one I'm going to do next because it needs no introduction. And this is blatantly a recommendation by. It's Crave by Tracy Wolff. It has the best pages ever. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I just think they're great. They're so tactile. Again, I know not a lot about this book, but I'm fed up of hearing everybody talk about it and not know what it's about. So that's why I picked it up. I just hope it's better than Twilight because the cover reminds me of Twilight and I'm not a Twilight fan. But we will see how this goes. I'm not going to talk about it anymore because it needs no introduction. And the other 2, one is The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I'm the writer, author of The Guest List. This is a thriller. It's the pick for the Literally Dead book club hosted by Books and Lala this month, which is why I'm reading it. Liked the guest list. It was all right. It was a bit predictable. But it wasn't a bad book. So I thought I'd give her another go. So that's The Paris Apartment. And then last but not least, we have The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is another spooky kind of rock star, sex, drugs and rock and roll style novel. That's all I really know about it. But looking forward to starting that. Sorry to rush the end of the video, but my timer tells me that my video is going to cut off at 18.43 minutes, and that doesn't give me very long to wrap it up. So if you liked this video, please let me know by clicking the thumbs up button below, so that I know so I can make some more of them, hopefully. If you haven't subscribed already and you would like to, please do so. And to those of you that have already subscribed, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this one. Stay safe, keep reading, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.